Hello everyone and welcome into the channel. My name is Brent. I was laid off in February 2025, and if I didn't have an emergency fund, my options would be very limited. Today, I want to go ahead and show you why an emergency fund isn't just a safety net, it is your freedom plan. So in this video, we're going to go ahead and cover why your emergency fund is crucial now and forever in the future. We're going to go ahead and talk about why it's not just a safety net anymore, it is freedom. But that said, if you guys are brand new here to the channel, go down below, hit that thumbs up button, would really appreciate it, and let's go ahead and get into it. So let's go ahead and talk about the job market here in 2025. That's the main highlight, right? We see a lot of news out there popping up. Facebook laying off about 9,000 individuals. We're seeing a ton of layoffs across the board in tech, finance, logistics. We're also seeing unemployment ticking up over, nearly 1% between last year and this year. So last year's number, early 2024, was around 3.5. Here we are, July 2025, it's around 4.2% and steadily rising. I know a lot of individuals, big companies, small companies, right? They're all tightening, they're hiring. Positions that were out there looking to hire are getting squeezed out, saying, hey, we're no longer hiring for that position. They're either getting replaced by AI, they're taking a look at tariffs and costs, and maybe not needing that position to be filled up, right? So they're pulling it back. There's a lot of layoffs going on right now, and a lot of businesses either moving between states. So I know locally, there's individuals that are deciding to get laid off instead of traveling or moving to a new headquarters in another state because the business is moving. They're choosing not to follow, so they're getting, laid off and quitting. And that is all competition within the market, depending on the field that they're in, right? Interview process right these days is they send you an email, they chat with you via email, they'll send you a Teams or whatever else kind of meeting it is. You go in for several in-person meetings, and then the interview process overall, right, it can be multiple times, 3, 5, even more interviews, right? That process is getting longer, and I saw a lot of this firsthand in early 2025 when I got laid off in February. At the time, I was still undecided. So that's kind of the indecision there. I was undecided whether I want to continue to dive into the job market right away. And I had been applying. So I did see a lot of this firsthand. I saw that a lot of the positions that I was applying for were either kind of tightening down and saying, hey, we don't need this role, or they wanted to hire one individual to fill many, many roles, right? Many, many hats. And the interview process for getting prolonged. So I saw that firsthand early 2025, and a lot of that's changed since then for me. The key here is that it's not about panic, it's about preparation, being prepared for the unexpected, as many individuals don't have that expectancy of when they're going to get laid off, right? It's sometimes that day, it could be a week, could be a month, right? So just prepare for the unexpected. Next, who needs an emergency fund? Key note here is everyone. Everyone needs an emergency fund. No one is immune, not just people with low income. It is high earners as well with no savings is equally at risk. Everyone out there needs some sort of emergency fund. It is crucial, and everyone should have one right now. Why an emergency fund, right? The uncertainty in the job market, as we saw, unemployment ticked up nearly 1% there between the year. That is super expensive right now. We're seeing rent, groceries, rates for mortgages, gas is still continuing to rise. Life right now is really uncertain. When you have that certainty behind it, it relieves a lot of the stress behind it. Also, if you're relying on debt, high interest debt right now, I've seen credit cards of anywhere from 20, 30%. I see personal loan offers, here, get a personal loan, it's 20, 30%. That is expensive. And I've seen a lot of reports of individuals putting their groceries, their gas, life is being put on a credit card. And if you're putting it on a credit card, not only is, current life uncertain, but those prices and those interest, those work against you, compounding against you on a month by month, week by week, month by month, year by year basis. And it'll all work against you as prices rise and you're putting more up on that credit card. It's going to stack against you quicker on a month-to-month basis. So it is really important to make an emergency fund. So when should you make an emergency fund? Before you think you will need it, you need to make it, right? Even with $10, $25, $100 a week, it begins to add up. Just like my $1,000 investment challenge, which you can sign up for below. Guys can get started on the SoFi investment challenge. You guys can download the tracker and begin to kind of track your progress. The best time to build an emergency fund was yesterday, but the second best time is today. So if you don't have an emergency fund out there, definitely start one up. If you guys do have an emergency fund, drop it in the comment section. Say, hey, I have an emergency fund. Let me know what platform you are using for your emergency fund. We'll go ahead and talk about a few platforms here in just a minute, but I'd be interested in knowing where exactly is everybody stashing their cash, or do you guys have it in the stock market, just kind of getting paid out some dividends and use that for your income? Let me know down in the comment section down below. So next topic here, my layoff experience in February 2025. I had a cushion, which meant I had options. I had stuff from my real estate business. I had investments in the stock market. I have crypto, right? So I had different forms of cushion there, which provided options. Now, I could have gone back to work and I was applying into different roles. When I got laid off, I did begin to apply for positions locally and was interviewed, but the options and the work that I was being offered wasn't an area I would have liked. So I decided to step back a bit and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and change what I'm focusing on here. So I'll get back to you if anything changes, and decided not to rush back into 9 to 5 right away. Instead, I've been using this time to realign my goals, either with myself, my family, and create some sort of balance there. So instead, in February and March, I used this time to create a foundation of income. So between my real estate business and investments, I went ahead and converted a portion of my investments into income-based investments, which would generate enough income on a month-to-month basis to cover all of my expenses while still having a decent amount left over for this spontaneous incidents where, oh, hey, this month we spent an extra couple $100 here, right? Because that happens on occasion where I need new tires for my car, or we're doing something, traveling and trips a bit more often, right? So area there where I'm still able to generate enough income to cover expenses and still have a little bit extra. So that is the foundation. It's been created and it's popping in every month. It's just reoccurring. And as of that point, I've now continued to use the next few months to build up additional sources of income, whether that's, income streams through building content, whether it's here on YouTube, on my finance channel, my gaming channel. I've been streaming on YouTube and on Twitch, building up that community over that way, getting additional subs over on Twitch, building different affiliates, referrals, and partnerships with just generating different opportunities. And these, while they might start off kind of small, they begin to pile up on a week by week, month by month basis. And over time, while it might be a small amount right now, the foundation's already been built. And everything on top of that is just extra, which can be reinvested back into building up these income streams, which over time, I'm hoping the next 6 months to a year, they'll be able to provide an additional source, right? If I can get an additional 500,000, several $1,000s from these additional income streams, then that will just help build onto the foundation, right? We're building it up from the ground up. So that's the layoff experience and so far the journey from February up until July 2025. How can you guys build your own fund? The first step, as I would say, is track your monthly essential expenses. Go through your credit card statement, go through your bank account. A lot of platforms, they offer a way to see where you're spending your money. I know over at SoFi, which is the platform I use, they use Relay, which lets me see all my income coming in, where it's coming in from, and it shows all of my expenses for my credit cards or my debit transactions, and then it lays it out for me. It shows you your net and your expenses and how much you have savings left over per month. And that is a great way of tracking it. So I would highly recommend it. There'll be a link down in the pinned comment down below if you guys would like to check out SoFi. And also start with $500, start with $1,000. And then once you have that $1,000 saved, next aim for something to cover 3 to 6 months. Automate your weekly transfers. So you set a goal of $1,000. Automate those savings by just scheduling a $25 or $50 or $100 transfer build up this essential fund. Once it's met its goal, right, aim for the next goal. Set a goal of 3 to 6 months. Don't invest this unless you are confident and you will not need it as a safety net. It needs to be safe, not risky. So in my case, I do choose to invest savings, right? We're doing our investment challenge for $1,000, and I'm choosing to go this route because I don't need the additional income to cover where I'll have to sell out of stocks and need the capital to cover things, right? I have other means of covering specific expenses, right? But if you don't have the means to cover expenses, do not invest it. I'm going to go ahead and give you some options here in just a moment. So start off by just building up your fund, see what your monthly bill is, and target that amount of expenses that you'll need on the monthly expenses first, and then multiply that to cover 3 to 6 months. Use high yield savings accounts. I went ahead and went out there and checked out some of the current high yield savings accounts and went ahead and pasted them in here. So Public, this is one. I do have a Public account. If you guys would like to check out Public, go ahead and use the pinned comment down below. Public is offering a 4.1% on, it is an investment platform mostly, right? So I went ahead and included here some of the investment stuff at the top. So Public, Wealthfront, Moom, they are specifically kind of like investment platforms. Not so much Wealthfront, but Public, Fidelity, money market account, SPACs. That's basically just cash sitting in your investment. In Wealthfront, they both have a 4% APY. Moomoo is pretty interesting. Moomoo's out there with the 4.1, which matches Public, and it's an investment account, so it's uninvested capital sitting at the account. It's rolled into a 4.1% investment account. But if you do sign up through the welcome bonus, they're offering you up to 60 stocks right now. Plus, you get a bonus of 4% when you sign up for 3 months. So essentially, you'd be sitting at an 8.1% APY for 3 months. So that's why I'm going to put that offer in there. I'm using SoFi. The reason I use SoFi, right, it's 3.8%. When you sign up for their money account, you can get up to $300 and some by setting up direct deposits. You get the SoFi Plus benefits, which I've covered in another video, but I would highly recommend just kind of clicking the link and see what they offer. CIT Bank is 3.9%, Ally is 3.5%, and Marcus is 3.65%. Now, kind of going back, why I like SoFi, I have my checking account, my savings account, my investment, any kind of loan options. I can go all through the platform. So the platform, if I have a credit card on SoFi, which I do, I can then have my SoFi investment account that's paying capital in there, and it's paying dividends. I can go into my credit card and pay off my credit card and cash back on the capital that I paid off on the SoFi credit card, and then that capital that's converted over to points can then be cashed out into the investment account right away. And then anything that's sitting in my SoFi savings account is sitting at a 3.8% APY. So if it's not invested, it's sitting in still a very high yield savings account. So it's all in one platform, whereas other platforms, they're not just a checking account, a savings account, an investment account. It's either just a savings account or just a checking account or just a investment account, right? SoFi has been the only platform that has offered everything all in one, really easy. And their Relay, which kind of shows all of your income and expenses, really easy, all in one place, easy to see. So I would definitely recommend checking that out. Now, final thoughts here. Start your emergency fund. It is crucial, even if it's just $10 a week, $25 a week. You guys can join the challenge by checking out the pinned comment down below. Right now, we are doing a challenge over using the SoFi Invest platform. We're investing $25 a week into this thing, and over the last few weeks now, we've grown it over 300 and some amount of dollars. We've also made over $15 of appreciation by just market returns, and we're hoping to hit the $1,000 challenge by roughly week 38, week 40, depending on how everything goes, right? It's not just the fund that we're building up from the ground up. It is freedom for you, your family, your future self. So how long would you currently last on your emergency fund today if you were to be laid off, right? That's just a question for you. You don't have to answer it, but it just kind of makes you think. You don't have to drop a comment down below, But this kind of something to ask yourselves: if you got laid off today, how long could you last on your emergency funds? Would you have to convert a few items around, or would you have to scramble and get back into the work, the 9 to 5 grind right away? So that is it for this video. Subscribe for weekly investing and savings tips. I really do appreciate everyone out there popping in, hanging out with me today. If you guys have any comments or questions for me, definitely drop it down in the comment section below. And again, I was laid off back in February 2025, and if I didn't have an emergency fund, my options would have been very limited. But today, I did go ahead and show you why an emergency fund isn't just a safety net, it is your freedom plan. So that is it. Thank you all for tuning in. I will catch you guys in the next video.